Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 24 of Rapid Unscheduled Discussions. I just realized January 24th is my brother's birthday. And he
Uh-huh.
turned 24 this year, which was his golden birthday.
Uh-huh.
So that means 24 should be a great episode.
Okay. I think we do have a
I think
great one
that
in store.
caffeine and alcohol did something weird to my head.
Seth's trying something new tonight, y'all.
I tried. I killed it before the stream. By the way, I'm Seth, your grateful host. I used to be a host in a restaurant, so I'm actually a good host. Unlike some people. Speaking of some people, Daryl Sausse, everybody.
Hi, everybody not named Seth. Wow.
I
Wow.
killed a hard latte, which I don't know what it's mixed with, but it was definitely alcoholic. And all the alcohol, even though I did shake it very well, all at the bottom still. Like the last shot was the roughest.
Jeez.
And it tasted like a canned latte, which is not good. So
I
I'm
mean,
back to my American Smirnoff Red, White, and Berry.
you got to kill it off eventually.
Dude, I'm not even close.
Oh, I'm saving the
I
Jameson from last week for a special occasion,
Oh,
so
me
I'm
too.
back to high life.
I'll bring it up when Declan comes back for a launch so we can party.
Yes.
I've just made on this bottle of Smirnoff though. I've just made it to where the neck starts to taper off, and it actually goes to the actual full width of the bottle.
Mm.
So I've just begun. Speaking of just beginning, this had no segue. That was a horrible one. I got a new
Yes,
lens I want to show off.
go for it.
Hey, what do we call this again? What did you call it?
I called it the drunk Russian lens.
I like the Tipsy Russian.
Tipsy Russian?
Tipsy Russian? Tipsy Russian
Okay.
lens. It's a Soviet lens. It has Russian. The name of it is in Russian.
Wow.
Some of you guys probably know it if you're a photographer or a videographer,
Or somebody who follows you on Twitter.
or someone who follows me on Twitter, or someone who follows Marquez Brownlee. Brownlee. I don't remember what his last name
I
is.
thought it was Marquise.
Is it Marquise? MKHB.
Yeah.
MKHB.
MKBH.
M-
Shit.
the
I
dude
don't
with
know.
all the really nice shit.
Yeah, him.
Him. He talked about it. Who is shooting fireworks? It's the 6th. Calm the F down. Did you hear that?
I heard something. I thought it was you slamming something on a desk. That's
No,
funny.
that's a firework. I've been getting hammered by fireworks this weekend, and they're not stopping.
Well, you didn't hear, right? There was a sale going on. Buy two and get like another 50,000 fireworks for free.
Oh yeah, but you had half of it on the 5th and the other half on the 6th. That's how it
Yes.
works. Yeah.
Yes.
It the lens that I got was a Helios 44-2, which 44 has nothing to do with it. I don't know what 44 means. I don't know what Helios is either because the name of the company that makes it, I believe, is called Zenit. I don't know what Helios is. I don't know what 44 is because it's a 58 millimeter. The 2 though, I'm pretty sure means is because it's f2. It is an f2, not f2.8, an f2. Ready? Hold on, let me change this. Ready? Can you see this? Can you see that? Ready? Ready?
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh. Oh wait, actually, hold on. I have it.
Manual aperture.
I have it limit. Oh, it's a completely manual lens. It's 100% manual. This is gonna be. Actually, it goes all the way down to this because actually, this has a really interesting feature that I don't see on lenses at all. It has an inverse aperture ring. If that makes sense. So when I'm at f2, it says I'm at f16. When I'm at f16, it says I'm at f2 because there's 2 rings to the aperture ring. One of them is the actual one you change the aperture with, and the other one is a limiter. So I can move it down and it clicks. So if I want to be stuck at f2 the entire time, I can.
You said the name of it is the Zenit.
Is that the name of the company that built it? I don't know. It says Zenit on here.
You know,
Zenit.
Yeah, Zenit is also the model of a rocket from
Yeah.
Sea Launch, right?
Yes, I do know that as well.
Did you?
I did.
Did you?
Well, it seemed familiar. I wasn't. Sea Launch was it? I was thinking it was a Russian.
I know. Look. I just googled it.
You
Full
just
disclosure.
Yeah, this is gonna be a very. It's manual focus, only manual aperture. This is gonna be a rough lens to use, but I can't wait to use it. It's gonna be so much fun. The swirly bokeh. Sorry, the swirly bokeh.
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 It's fine.
It's bokeh. It's called bokeh. Only the real photographers know how to pronounce it properly. It's called bokeh.
Well, bokeh then.
Bokeh.
Speaking of rockets and zeniths, and well, not zeniths on this episode. What's going on in the world of spaceflight?
We had Shadow launch this week. Sadly, though, probably all of you guys know, Rocket Lab launched this week with their rocket mission named Pixar. Didn't happen, which we've criticized the name as well as the the logo.
You did.
I'm bringing this all down. All right, we're a team.
Took shots at him.
We're a team. And
that was on your personal Twitter. You took shots at him.
Dang it! I should have tweeted on the roads one. Dang it! I have access. Yep. I should have done it. And we had it was a good launch all the way up to
battery hot swap.
Around battery hot swap. So let's go
debatable
back.
At this
let's
point.
Go back to what was the day before they announced it? Friday. They announced that it was going to be launching on the 4th instead of the 5th.
Well, no, they were trying to squeeze it in on the 4th because they had like a
that's when they
a week of bad weather coming up or something like that. So they were trying to squeeze it in. And
so they moved the launch to left, which doesn't happen often. This is probably the third time it's happened this year. Actually, we've had a lot of them this time, but second time it's happened this year. We did have another one. Huh? I'm pretty sure we had another one moved to left as well.
I don't know.
I think it was
I've been drinking. I don't remember.
Of course you have. We've all been drinking.
Of course.
And
that's what we do here.
So they moved it to the 4th, right at the start of NSF Live, which I thought was like they timed it up perfectly, and lifted off. Everything was going fine. Second stage, they separated from the second stage. Second stage ignited. Everything's going fine. And let me switch forward. I'll fast forward up here because you guys are watching on a stream right now. And I'm gonna switch to. Let's see, where are we right now?
About
3 minutes and 40 minutes. So around hot swap, which happens around T+5-ish minutes, I believe.
Yeah, see if you can jump to that.
Well, see the statement that they made a statement because they had an anomaly with the second stage and a loss of the vehicle, loss of the payload, which is tragic whenever one happens, especially when it's I believe this is their first failure. I know definitely the first failure of the Electron.
Yeah.
I'm not. They did have some sounding rockets beforehand, which I'm not sure about their history with that. But for the Electron itself, I believe this is their first failure. Of course, that happened on lucky number 13.
Yeah. NASA skips it for a reason.
We should just I just thought about that. I'm like, doesn't NASA skip 13? So their statement, they said they had an anomaly which we're already past at T+4 minutes. We're at T+4 minutes and 45 seconds. And everything's looking just fine. So I watched Scott Manley already did a video.
Of course.
Video, of course.
He did it a couple hours later.
Yeah, literally. And he was like, it was around T+5 minutes, which is around where battery hot swap goes. And you can see that the video is starting to freeze, which is actually not that abnormal. But
that happens all the time from everybody.
Yeah, here we go. Here it is. Oh wait, never mind. It's back. I'm trying to think what actually happened. But
when it starts getting up into the high 13,000s for speed.
Well, yeah, but
that's when it happens.
It eventually just freezes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
but again, that happens to everybody.
It freezes, and then the speed begins to, I believe the speed begins to decrease a little bit. And as it hits apogee.
Yep.
Then the speed starts to decrease, and the altitude starts to decrease, which is pretty much where it's, that something's not right.
Yeah.
And do I tell them what I said before the launch?
Hmm. All right, go ahead.
I feel really bad.
You should.
I feel horrible. I'm
You
sitting.
should.
It's the start of NSS Live. We're like, oh, nice. Rocket Electron launch is gonna be fun. I love Rocket. I love watching launches from their launch site. Oh, here we go. Okay, we're at 2+6 seconds where you can see the videos have gone out. The altitude starting, I believe, starting to drop, and the
Mm-hmm.
speed is starting to pick up.
Yeah.
Very very slowly.
It means it's coming back down.
That pretty much yeah. That doesn't it doesn't look good because your speed should be going up a lot faster, and your altitude should not be going down.
Mm-hmm.
At least at this point in the rocket. So I kind of I was talking to I was just like kind of talking to myself. I'm like, man, 13 launches. That's impressive, and no failures.
Mm.
Yeah, and I saw it kind of blip. I just like looked at myself like, oh, that's like the video's been out for a while, and I just like kind of like listen to all this. I'm like, I see Christine Das or on the stream like, oh no, what's going on? What's going on? And I'm like, no, no, I was actually near tears. Like I 100% actually was near tears
Mm-hmm.
because I felt so bad. I'm like, I jinxed it. It's my fault.
Yeah, you did, and you also talked some shit about the logo for this mission.
I mean, okay, they didn't explain. They explained it after I talked shit about it. So I think someone some intern was like, "Oh, we gotta defend it." So let's make some shit up. It's like this happened. What was this? About 2 years ago. The Brewers, the Milwaukee Brewers, my home team. Um, they decided to like reinvent their retro logo.
Mm-hmm.
By reinvented, they changed the colors a little bit, kept it exactly the same, and then read the like this is what all the parts of the logo meant. And I'm like, that's
Mm-hmm.
not. So if you guys don't know what the retro Brewers logo is, it's a baseball mitt, right? But in the
Mm-hmm.
baseball mitt, you can see the M for Milwaukee and B for Brewers. The thumb is like the type of the B, then the palms, the like the little circle part of the B, and then you have like three finger holes for
Okay.
yeah, for the M. And they went so into not using those two items for the definition. Some marketing intern came up with that, and they're just like, "Yeah, sounds great," and everyone hated it. That had nothing to do with the launch. But yeah, so
Yeah.
we want to talk about today. Talk about kind of how Rocket Lab handled the failure. Go over somehow of previous companies have handled failures, and talk about our opinions on how we think they should handle,
Great.
and also
Because
what
I
also
I
talk
brought
about
this
what
up
they're
to you over the weekend.
yeah, and also talk about kind of like what are they required really to share because
Yeah.
they're
And
that's an interesting thing to talk about as well.
and that right there is one of the things you brought that up right before the show when we were talking about this, how we were going to go through this subject, is that they're not required to show us a goddamn thing. This is a
Now
private company launching private customers. Now, there are federal agencies involved, for licensing the flight
yeah,
and
I'm
things
not
like
sure
that. Yeah,
financially where all the money. I mean, like money wise, like I'm not sure if there's any subsidies, but also they're not launching out of the United States.
right.
They're
Although they did say the FAA is helping them investigate. So,
FCC, I thought.
no, FAA.
Is it FAA? Okay.
FAA.
I think I heard FCC, but I think they meant FAA.
No, they said FAA.
Listen, dude, FAA,
So,
FCC, FEC, FDA. I hate it. That's terrible.
good thing you're not in finance and you got to deal with the SEC.
The what? Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh wow.
What is? Oh my gosh.
So, but yeah, like Seth said, I actually brought this idea up to him over the weekend. It's like, hey, things went a little awkward in this webcast because it's been playing this whole time on your screen, and at about this point, everybody's kind of
We all know what
got the
happened.
feeling. Yeah, we all know what
I
happened.
mean, we were all hoping that it didn't. We're
Right.
like, oh, they just lost telemetry and they lost video.
Right.
But
we've seen
said,
stuff enough times to know, like, hey, something's going on here.
This is their 13th stream. Like, I think I've watched every single one of their streams. Maybe I've missed one or two. Never lost telemetry and video at the same time.
No, and
Um,
the fact
and
that they said that they were still getting good telemetry, and we're seeing those
and they
numbers
were
do that.
when
Yeah,
it's all the numbers like, oh, we have good telemetry. I'm like, okay, well, you might have good uplink or good downlink of telemetry, but I don't think the telemetry itself is good.
right.
Or
You're
maybe
getting
yeah,
you're getting accurate data. You just don't like what it's giving you.
yeah,
That type of thing. But at this point, you can see on the screen right now is Mr. Max Muncy back on the screen. He's obviously got a producer in his ear telling him, "Hey, get back on screen, say this," and then we
they
go
cut
blah
it.
blah blah, and
Yeah,
then
as soon
right
as
here is where they cut it. But the whole time he was saying, everything's looking good, everything's looking good. Everybody heard, you know, the mission director. He was about to say something, then they cut him off. You go to Max, then they cut the stream.
and
It's
which
like,
that's
wait, we're
not
we're all not that dumb.
yeah.
We know something's going on. And I'd like to take this time, Seth, if you can go to the tab with the Arian space, the Vega launch from last year. We all remember that one, which unfortunately their return to flight got pushed back to like August or September, something like that. Pushed back
Really?
a lot. They're waiting for, yeah, it got pushed back a lot. They're waiting for better seasonal weather patterns for their launch. But
Gotcha.
for those who don't know, this Vega flight from last year for the Falcon Eye 1, which was for a Middle Eastern government, I forget who, but they basically it didn't separate and didn't ignite the second stage. And by 9 minutes into this mission, you can see they're picking up the phones, they're taking off the headsets, which
This is already,
I
and you can see the telemetry is already, Mikey.
the
At least for this one, you can't hide this.
No, you can see the
Um,
telemetry deviating. Now they still got the animation up, but in about
it's the
another minute or
animation.
two, yeah, it's a
That's the animation.
pre-programmed animation.
Unless I believe ULA's is actually live telemetry. I believe.
What the
But
animation's based off of
the
the live stuff?
animation is actually based off the telemetry. I believe it's
Mm.
either ULA or it's the Soyuz. I don't remember which one.
Well, if you see one of them hard cut and don't come back to it, that's a hint right there. But again, you're seeing all the signs. You're seeing people's faces, hands over the mouths, like, oh my god, something happened. The phones are coming up, the headsets are coming off. Um, I even noticed that with the Rocket Lab mission when we all started suspecting
Thanks, Ed
something was going on.
Duncan.
I saw somebody mention or somebody take off the headset, walked away from their console. Like, well, this guy's job is done. you know.
Like,
Apparently, some
I was rain safety. I don't need to blow the rocket blew itself up, so I'm gonna
yeah,
go home. I'm gonna go to the break room.
apparently somebody forgot to tell GC to lock the doors, which is the three words you never want to hear in a mission control,
Well,
with or without life on the vehicle.
yeah, that's also.
Um,
I don't know. I think the doors are probably already locked here.
no, they're not
What?
locked. They I'm sure they limit access. I'm sure there's
Oh,
somebody outside limiting
I'm sure there's
access.
the big scary guard right next to the door.
Oh yeah, but when they
Probably
say
speaks
lock the
French,
doors,
smokes like six pack cigarettes a day, and can bench
no.
you like in one arm.
When they say lock the doors, shit has gone south.
Yeah.
But getting back to this, I wanted to bring up the Vega one because
It's your favorite
good
rocket.
good on them. Yes, it is the supreme eater in my opinion. But I want to say
Terrible.
good on Arian Space because at T+9 minutes, there was already somebody at the podium apologizing for the loss of stuff, and it's like, look, stuff happens, and I'm sure they told these folks, hey, this is a risk inherent in spaceflight. Happens more often than we'd like it to. But come to the podium. This woman is basically in tears because she's having to get up, apologize, basically in front of the whole world. But she got up there, she did it. They owned up to it really fast. They knew pretty much right away. I mean, there's something that's
Rocket Lab knew right away as well because it was maybe like 10 minutes after the stream ended, they tweeted and apologized. They just didn't do a live stream.
They did.
Which, yeah, I think.
But
The
I still
difference
want to point
between
out
the difference between I think Ariane Space, the reason why Ariane Space handled it the way they did between Rocket Lab is that they have a podium with a mic set up for a live stream. All that stuff's already set up beforehand.
well, yeah,
You're not gonna the person who you're going to want to have to announce the failure is going to be It's Peter Beck, but
Yeah.
he's busy in the mission control room.
Yeah,
So
he's actually in there. You can see him on the stream. You can't miss that hair.
You want him to confirm, or you want the Twitter account to confirm the failure, not the guy doing the hosting the live stream.
Well, but still.
So
in doing my research for this, in doing my research for this, the commentator for this live stream, the Aryan Space one, does get on there and say, "Hey, something's gone wrong," and then they put a banner up on the bottom of the screen saying, "Hey, something's up. We're figuring out what's going on."
Yeah. Well, the official announcement that
right.
Yeah,
the official announcement. But
that's what
I mean, this is produced by them. You know, it's kind of official. You know, yeah, I think God, I feel bad for not researching this lady's name, but if she comes up to the podium, that's more of the, I don't want to say official. That's the more formal acknowledgement.
Right that's what I mean. The formal announcement should not be coming from the person hosting it. It should come from the person in charge.
Right. And acknowledgement. And look, there's the banner going up on the screen right now.
Temporarily, I love it because there's like it's so nonchalant as well. Launch trajectory is temporarily deviated. Stand by until more information is. It's just temporarily deviated. It's not. You know,
it's temporarily deviating itself into the ocean.
It could deviate itself back.
I know we've all played Kerbal. We've all saved launches before.
Yeah, I've done 360 no scopes in Kerbal and then get back to the moon.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, but anyway, no. They handled it professionally, just like all of these controllers at these consoles and everything like that. The one thing I have about Aryan Space after this happened, this video stayed up for a couple of weeks, and I went to look for it again. It was gone.
Yeah.
Like they took it down. They hid it like it was still there, but they hid it from public. But in researching this for the show, now it's back in the same spot it was before. So it's buried down there. But I've been
having issues with we'll watch it, the Sierra 16. All of the not SpaceX one's there, but like the is SpaceX one there? I'm not sure which one you sent me, but like DOS's Kerbal Space Academy's video. I just probably clicked on it and refreshed probably like 8 times, and kept on getting playback errors. We Report Space, I think, is the one I have. Or maybe it's the one, or maybe it's another one. No, I think I'm using Space News because I want to use Report for the
one you have pulled up now.
Yes, no, this for Sierra 16. So I have Sci News, both We Report Space and Kerbal Space Academy. I couldn't watch. It kept on blocking me from watching them.
Well, and the thing about them, they're not the official streams, you know. So
I don't know.
We're talking about the official streams. Look, here she is, 2 + 9 minutes, and here she is already doing her thing. Again, good on you, Aryan Space, for doing that. Maybe you should have left the video up. I'm not gonna try and botch that name, even though I am of French descent and probably can pronounce that
Lucy?
fairly well.
I think her first name's Lucy.
Lucy. European, you know.
Very nice lady.
Yes. Not downing anybody that works for these companies, puts these things into flight, because the shit ain't easy. No, she's already up there acknowledging it. Other examples of how to handle it, or how it has been handled on live streams before. Which one should we go to next?
Let's do Sierra. Let's do
CRS 7, the old CRS one.
Sierra 7 is interesting because
this is
CR 7 is the NASA one, right? So I don't think
that. Yeah, that looks like the NASA one because it doesn't.
Was
have
this
the graphics
before SpaceX live streamed it?
No, because I found a bootleg of SpaceX's live stream. They took it down, and it is not back up.
NASA's stream is. I'll be honest. Rocket Lab did much better than this.
Well, I mean, we'll forget how long ago it was.
Because I watched this. It's the what's his name that always does.
It's the not Bob Navius, but the other guy who used to do all the commentary for shuttle launches and things like that
Yes.
from back in the day.
It's him, and he was talking. All of a sudden, he just at this point, I think he stopped
Yes,
and he's done.
and there
And
was
then it's quiet for the rest of the stream, and the camera's
yes,
already gone from it. Though
yes,
that's a nice lens flare, I gotta say.
yes.
The camera
But
operator did a nice lens flare.
but again, it's obvious at this point. We know something's going on, even to the casual observer who has no idea about this kind of stuff. Not you, me, and everyone else watching this, but even just a casual observer who's like, "Oh, somebody's doing something in space. Okay, let me watch this today."
Oh,
You can obviously tell something's going on.
there was a
Now,
rocket, and now there's no rocket.
now, I will say, you know, over all of the years, I've been watching launch coverages since I was a kid, right? NASA has set a standard on how to do it. Their standard apparently is we'll go silent, we'll say there's something going on, and then we're going back to being quiet and just show pictures of whatever.
Pretty
Um,
clouds in this case.
exactly. And they did the same thing for the Antares launch from a couple of years ago. The one that absolutely obliterated the pad.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
yes,
Yeah.
because that one just came back down and poof,
just,
right on the pad.
yeah.
But they did the same thing where they said something's going on, we're waiting for more information. And it's one of those things where it's like, how much more information do you need to say the launch has failed? You don't have to exaggerate it with all kinds of flavoring terms like, man, that rocket exploded. Oh my gosh, we lost it all. You don't have to go all crazy like that. You can be professional, say, something has happened. We're going to try and get you more information. Doesn't have to be the full engineering technical jargon. Just something's happened. Don't play coy and beat around the bush on it. Full on acknowledge it and saying, hey, we're figuring out what's going on. We didn't want this to happen. Yada yada yada.
So we're gonna
So like I said, NASA has set a standard. And I guess it's the best to go off of right now because, again, the whole point of us talking about this is to say, nobody's necessarily doing it wrong.
No one's doing it.
But is there a truly right way to cover this stuff live?
Is there a right way in a viewer standpoint? Not a right way in we don't know how I don't think either of us can really say what the proper way is to do it from a launch provider's viewpoint or from a customer viewpoint because we just don't know. We don't know what it's like to be in that seat or being in that scenario. But from people who watch it and watch like all these launches, what do we want to see, and what do we think is the best way to put it, the best light to put it
in? And NASA isn't necessarily doing it wrong. They do acknowledge, hey, something happened.
When it comes to SpaceX streams, there's one thing that you can't hide, and that's
this is the wrong way to do it.
That's wait for this.
For the one you're playing right now.
For Sirius 17 or 16, well, the one thing you can't hide is the crowd reaction.
Yes.
Because there's like I think SpaceX knows that, and they're just gonna go with it. Now they didn't show it live, the landing, but they did release video of the landing.
Right, and afterwards. They can tell now as we're watching it. I'm a second or two behind because I'm watching it through the YouTube stream.
Yeah, at this point, you have the pretty much the crowd's going, oh, and
yeah, because you know that's not right.
Yeah,
and then it's gone.
It's gone. I'm like,
yep.
And at this point, with Sirius 16, this was full thrust?
Were they not? No, this was not Block 5 yet. No.
Well, Block 5 was after full thrust. Full thrust was all white.
I think it was.
Yeah. So this was either full thrust or just the 1.1 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I got my stand goal from sitting in a chair. I love. But I think at this point the landing though is the fun part of the launch.
Right.
Is not. They don't care. They could care less. These are almost expendable rockets.
Right.
They threw some landing legs on, and they're trying to land it. When these failed,
here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing. After that, and everybody was saying, "Oh, why'd you cut the stream?" Blah 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 blah. You had the best views of it. You know, people would have watched it, got more views, and everything like that. Elon did come out and say, "Yeah, we shouldn't have cut away from it. Our bad. We'll try not to do that anymore."
My
Okay.
opinion though on them cutting away is there should be a little bit of dignity when you launch something in the space, like especially when you're the customer, you
Mm-hmm.
want it to be about kind of want it to be about you, like it's about the payload. I mean that's
Yeah.
what every launch is about. It's always about the payload, and it doesn't matter if we land the rocket, if
Oh
it
yeah.
doesn't matter anything. All that matters is we get the payload into orbit.
Yeah.
And I think
And
cutting
in this one they
away
did that.
I think cutting away from a failed landing attempt gives that little bit of dignity. Like, okay, we don't care. It's about like the primary mission is getting this thing to the orbit.
Exactly.
Now,
Exactly.
Falcon Heavy launches. It's very important to get those things to land, especially when they're block. I'll be honest, Block 5 boosters, they're meant to land. Anyone who says they're not primary missions, I think they're just saying it because they want people to. Those are almost primary missions to get them to land. They need them to land. Even those titanium grid fins are very expensive, very hard to make, very time consuming
It's
to
the
make.
foundation
The
of their
Merlin
company
engines
too.
are the Merlin engines are hard to produce.
Right.
The or not the avionics, but like just the only you have the fuel tank, which is easy to make, but the Merlins and the grid fins, you want those back, and when those
Oh, of course.
you should show those if they fail or if they succeed,
Right.
especially when it's a Falcon Heavy center core and it aborts last minute.
Well, we did, and we
And
did
we
see
catch
that.
it all on that was perfect. But yeah,
Dude,
so we
that was fun at STP too. We're all sitting there and we had the exact same reaction as the crowd. Come on, no!
because
I
you
wish I
see
had
it
recorded
light
that.
up, because you can see it
Hmm.
light up and go down. You're like, oh, it's happening, and you just see it go side. Like, oh no, it's not
Yep.
supposed to be going
Yep.
sideways.
Now, and Ed did bring this up in chat, and we kind of glossed over it. The Space Extreme from CRS-7. There was a super long pause, and
Oh
then
yeah,
good old John
I
yeah,
did
you missed that.
cut off. Yeah, I did cut off
Um,
from that. Yeah, and
but
that's like
John
at
Innsbrucker
the
did
end.
come back on, and he ended up saying, "Yeah, something went
Mhm.
wrong with it." But it's one of those things, and I don't want to come down too hard on SpaceX on this one, mostly because John Innsbrucker, who's actually hands on with this stuff, and then comes and does these webcasts.
He's
He sounded hurt
probably
by it.
yeah,
He
he
did
was
sound hurt by
when
it.
he saw that thing when as soon as he saw things going off nominal.
Hmm.
Sorry, nominal. That's why I'm wearing the hat.
Yeah.
He was probably like, I don't care about the script. He's just glued to the TV screen, like what's going on. And that's
Exactly.
probably one reason why he just stopped. He didn't talk at all for that
Hmm.
long. And also, there's probably a little bit of NASA in there, where like you not until you absolutely have to say something. You say something. You're
And
quiet.
but again, the long delay from us obviously seeing something
Yeah.
happen to them saying
They're
something.
probably then what they're doing is that they're just okay. We're gonna have to say something. What do we say, and when do we say it? Because let's just look over the data, and so we can just say something solid. You know,
And
there's probably
like I said,
some PR person there saying, sitting with the engineer and saying, how do we say it to where, we don't sound stupid. Like
well,
the engineer people saying we're not going to sound like, let's not undermine the crowd, but then the PR person's like, we got to be professional.
yeah, but
Like professional
they
as in
didn't.
like it has to sound elegant.
No, but they didn't come back and say anything as far as the cause. They just said, there was an
Yeah. Well, yeah, because
anomaly,
they didn't know
lost
the
the vehicle, and
cause. That's
everything like
probably
that.
why people were confused, because no one knew. No one got anything from it. It
But
was
that's
all
the
of a
thing.
sudden done.
If you obviously lose the vehicle in a large explosion like that one in the sky, which is blatantly obvious, the Antares, which obliterated a pad,
I just love
you can
watching it.
you can say that right away. You don't need to give me any technical jargon. Some of the stuff might go over my head, let alone the very casual observer who is not
Mm-hmm.
the rest of us. Come out and say stuff right away.
I think
Say we're going to figure it out, we're going to
I love
investigate it, and we're going to come back.
I
You know,
love watching.
if it's questionable, kind of like the Rocket Lab one was, like you don't necessarily know what's going on at first. Like, are we getting
Yeah.
ratty data and the camera cut out? Can we come back from this? Okay, you can take a second. But I still want to go back and point out that Rocket Lab, with how long it took for them to, um, you know, have the guy come back on the screen a couple of times and then all of a sudden cut the webcast, they knew by then that they lost the vehicle. They had to have known by then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like how they. I'm gonna struggle for the right word here, because I don't want to call them straight up liars, because they did acknowledge it
No, they
soon
didn't
after
lie
with
at
a
all.
tweet, a statement, and a video from Peter
I
Beck.
don't
All
think
three of those things,
so.
which is
Here,
totally appropriate of them.
yeah.
But we all get the feeling, hey, something's going wrong. If you know, tell us. We're still gonna love you, and we still do love you. This is just being overly critical on my
If
part.
you
I
go
guess.
back, like if you watch a lot of like the other a lot of other failed launches, I'm actually gonna go back to full screen here. We don't need to watch any more videos.
Okay.
The it's with Soyuz launches, even with Challenger, and yeah, Challenger and Columbia, there are still people calling call-outs.
Oh, well, I
After,
wasn't gonna go.
But I'm just talking I'm just talking about like other failed launches.
Right.
The
And I wasn't going to go to crew missions.
No. I'm trying to think. Those are the only two that popped in my head. That popped in my head right away. That I remember hearing still call-outs from the launch directors.
Right.
This is when something's supposed to happen. Because what's the one that I'm thinking of? It's another crude one, but the MS, the one that aborted.
I forgot. I didn't go back and look that one up because I didn't want to mention crude
But
missions.
if you listen to them, they're still calling out like boost of separation and all the other stuff when there's like, because they're especially with I'm just trying to tie it into the guy with Rocket Lab. He doesn't know what's going on. Even though he has a producer in his ear, the producer doesn't know what's going on. The producer, all he cares about is producing the live stream. All he cares about is hosting the live stream. He doesn't know what's going on, so all he's going to say is, hey, and then we're supposed to have battery hot swap, and we're supposed to have an orbit insertion, but we don't know. Like,
but
you just continue on with the stream. So
but he's watching the same stuff we are.
Yeah.
And he's hearing stuff because the folks on the SpaceX streams, they have mission control audio piped right in their ear. They hear it. We don't. They do. Unless we go to the other stream that SpaceX graciously puts up, which I absolutely love.
But they don't.
Sometimes.
The DMT one was not great.
Are you kidding? I love that one.
They didn't have drag in the ground. They only had they had what they were saying to Dragon, but they didn't have what Dragon was saying back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But so they showed the firing room live,
which was great.
Yes, that's why I think that one.
The loops was what they needed to add. They needed to improve. They needed to add in the what the crew was saying.
But no, I get what you're saying, but it's also they know a little more than they tell us right away. And
yeah,
I guess what this boils down to is, don't necessarily pander to us and sit there and tell us, no, everything's all right. Everything's all right. The thing is also, really isn't.
We're a unique crowd viewing.
You and I and everyone else with us, yes.
We're not the vast majority.
Mm-mm.
We're probably smarter than a lot of we probably understand orbital mechanics, a minimal amount of orbital mechanics. We understand what should be going on. Thank you, Kerbal. Yes. Thank you very much, Kerbal.
Yes.
We understand what should be happening. There are the vast majority of people watching that stream don't know what's going on. So what they were probably thinking right then was, oh, the video went out. Yeah. They just lost video. Oh, okay, cool. They lost signal.
And on the Rocket Lab one,
and so they're not gonna come out.
It's totally fine.
Yeah, they're not gonna come out and straight up say, "Oh, we've aborted." You're gonna be like, "What do you mean you aborted? You just don't have video." Like, and what do you mean?
And that one wasn't as blatantly obvious as some of the other examples we brought up. The CRS or the Antares.
And I think the
you obviously see it.
Which one did we watch? 16? Yeah.
The one with the landing.
They acknowledged it that they did not land the center core.
On the stream?
I'm pretty sure I don't think they know this straight up, but like whenever they fail, you can hear it in the announcer's voice, like, "Oh yeah, that didn't go well."
Yeah.
Or
or you can hear, and I didn't bring it up for this episode, but I watch it all the time, the Falcon Heavy demo, and they're like, "Oh, did we get? We got? Oh wait.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
They're
talk
like,
about
hey,
something
let's talk
else."
about something
You
else.
know?
Yeah, nope, that didn't
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, yeah.
No, I
And
get this tunnel.
yes, SpaceX does get a pass on that
I
landing the
think
booster
the
is a
reason why
secondary mission.
SpaceX, one thing SpaceX gets a pass is how well produced their live streams are. And I think Rocket Lab can be brought into that, how well produced they are.
I think they're already well
the
produced.
person producing Jamie Higginbotham is, I believe she's the producer. I believe yeah, very professional. There's someone equally as professional. They're not there. Yeah, they're space enthusiasts. They probably know, but they're there to produce a show, and the show must go on. And you produce the best form of what's happening. You don't
exactly.
So Jamie's probably sitting there. You know, she's probably not thinking, "Oh, we need to find out a way to talk." Like she's probably not. She's just thinking, "Okay, let's keep talking. Talk about something. Talk about something. All right, let's take a break for a little bit. All right, go back. Okay, we're gonna cut it." Yeah.
But
So
you know, it's look like I've been trying to say. What it comes down to is, if you know it obviously failed, you could acknowledge that right off the bat.
You can
say,
but I don't
whatever
think
else you got to say.
that's not in the.
We're going to
mindset
investigate
of
it and things like that.
I don't think that's in the mindset of the producer though. That's not their. I don't. Their job's not to announce that it failed. Their job is to show the launch live, not to be PR.
So, with all of the examples we brought up, would you say that everything's fine and they should keep doing it like that? Because again, this just a debate.
With this
We're
one,
not
Rocket
saying
Lab, it was just hard because it's just like even I was like, oh, they just lost signal.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until like you started where they said that telemetry was good.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a cop out to just end the stream, but also at that point, what are you going to show? The stream is for entertainment, so it's a.
I'm not saying they had to show anything.
No, they didn't. So like the reason why they cut the stream was okay. Yeah, they don't have the video. They don't. The rocket failed. There's nothing to view afterwards. It's just going to be a bunch of people in mission control, which is not entertaining. So you might as well stop.
But it's not about what was shown. It's about what was said.
I'm trying to think back everything said. So
or lack of what was said.
I'll stick with. It wasn't the host's place to announce the failure. It was the company, and it was Peter Beck.
They did.
They could have said we're having an anomaly, but also, did he know it was an anomaly? Did everyone in mission control know it was an anomaly right away, or were they still working through the problems? They could have been still working through. For 15 minutes afterwards, still trying to get connection because maybe it just rolled one way and there was no way to connect to it, and that's probably what was going on. Maybe the antenna was bent and all of a sudden it had bad signal and in launch it broke. So they were probably working through. They have a checklist. I mean, you've seen the checklist that people have in mission control for shuttle and for Apollo. They were working through a checklist.
Oh yes,
for sure. And it probably took them about 10 minutes to get through everything before they said, "Okay, we've lost it."
Yeah.
For that one. Now for CRS-7 or CRS-6, whichever, that was pretty easy.
CRS.
Yeah, that was pretty easy to figure out. Okay, I think we've lost the booster here, but they still have to go.
We've lost it all.
They still have to go through all their checklists.
Right.
And do their thing. And so they're going to finish that checklist before they announce anything. So that checklist can last probably 15 to 20 to 30 minutes.
Right.
Are you going to have Are you going to have a stream going for 30 minutes of just quietness in a mission control room? Well, we might find that entertaining.
Well, look, the decision to end early is fine, which we're used to that with Electrons by now, because once the second stage is spent, they don't have the capability to show anything else, so that's why they always end it early. We're used to that. I'll give it that. So they played for the normal amount of time. But again, I'm still, even if they don't want to declare a full mission failure, at least say, hey, something's not right. But
I think for Rocket Lab in this one, I think you can give them the pass of They just didn't know yet.
I'm still gonna give them the pass.
There were lists they had to go through that didn't finish yet. And,
Look, I'm still gonna give them the pass. I'm not gonna, drag them through the dirt or anything like that. And it sucks that we're sitting here harping on this now for like the last 5 minutes.
It's been pretty much all we're talking about.
Right. Just because it's the most recent one, it's freshest in our minds. Mm-hmm. But I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not trying to drag them through the dirt or anything like that. I love them. I want them to keep going. I can't wait for their next launch, especially here in the States, which I still might drive to.
Now we gotta think of when it's gonna happen.
Yeah, but it's just again, it's getting back to how do you cover a launch failure correctly on your live stream? If it was you and me restreaming it or something like that, and we want to call it early, that's on us. Mm-hmm. But them, they're the ones actually putting it on. When you're the actual launch provider, yes.
Yeah, you got to be careful what you say. You can't go out there. The host can't go out there and say, we've lost the rocket, because that's an official statement on behalf of SpaceX. And he might not be in that. Even though he is the host, he's not in the place to say that. He just isn't. But this is not his place.
It goes back to, is it blatantly obvious?
Yes. So
the son of a building block exploded. Live to the whole world.
Son of a building block.
Son of a building block. It's Woody. Yes. I took that from Toy Story. But it's
that from Toy Story?
Yeah.
Oh, I never.
Yeah, you don't remember when Mr. Potato Head said, "Son of a building block, it's Woody."
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wow.
I remember that. Sorry, it's been a while since I've watched the movies.
Yeah. And speaking of watching stuff, on a side note, I guess we can go ahead and call that debate done, and may have to be revisited for another day.
When we have another, if we have another failure.
If we have another failure, we'll revisit it and compare. You heard it here first.
Speaking of watching things, I got a new movie to watch. The best movie ever created, hands down. I don't care.
Speaking of things to watch, related to an earlier tweet from our show's Twitter, dude, Floor is Lava on Netflix. Oh God, that is so much fun.
I haven't watched it yet.
I want to be on it.
Is that? It's like hard. It's like oh, never mind. There's like Ultimate Tag or something like that. That's also like a thing.
No. I haven't checked out Ultimate Tag, but no, Floor is Lava is like parkour, but the floor is lava, basically. Like amateur parkour, but the floor is lava.
There's
so much fun.
There's another series I think on Netflix or somewhere else that's about like the dangerous games in the world. And
yes,
there's like Netflix one where like there's just people they literally just bludger each other the entire time. Mm-hmm. And then the one where they had the dead goat.
I want to go watch the one from Ireland where they have all those. I think it's like lumberjack sports or something like that, where they have like the hammer throw, the cable toss, and things like that.
There are the
giant freaking log.
There's like the international like lumberjack games.
Yes.
Where they cut down trees and they gotta balance on a log in the river. Like that was actually fun to watch.
Holy crap!
I thoroughly enjoyed this.
So when I first started working for AT&T and I went off to pole climbing school, I started looking up stuff about it. Dude, have you ever seen the pole climbing competitions that they have at the lumberjack games? Like the way these guys insane. Run up the pole, they constantly flipping the belt around the pole and things like that. Here I am struggling step. Step. And these guys are freaking running up a pole, drop down.
Well, I mean, if you look at your arms and you look at their arms, you can kind of see why.
Yeah. Holy crap. Holy crap.
I just saw the viewer count go up by 1. So someone came into the viewer, heard that, and that's all they've heard.
Well, we're talking about lumberjack games, so that reminds me of the old Monty Python song. He's a lumberjack and he's okay. Sleeps all night, then he works all day.
Monty Python.
Mm-hmm.
Kathy Leaders has a Twitter account that
was horrible.
That was a terrible.
You are banned from doing lead-ins.
You didn't. You gave me nothing. What was I gonna say? Speaking of lumberjack, no, that's disrespectful. Monty Python is a classic.
No, I didn't expect you to say speaking of lumberjacks.
Speaking of lumberjacks, Kathy Leaders, everyone.
You just say moving on to actual space stuff.
Actual space news. Yes. Kathy Leaders has a cute doggo with the American bandana.
Yes.
And
Gosh, pupper.
today was her first day fully as the leading the human spaceflight team.
Bro, she's got a puppy. Oh my gosh, puppers.
That's
Yes,
a cute dog.
she
has
is...
won. She definitely won Twitter today. Creating a Twitter account, and her first tweet is a picture of her and her dog. She wins. She wins Twitter. 100% wins Twitter. But
4,500 likes already.
Dude, she's already verified. She was verified with less than 200 followers.
Dude, how do I get verified? Oh, I gotta be important.
Yeah, I'm just like, she had 148 followers when I followed her, and she was already verified. I'm like, I understand why she's verified. I'm not gonna question that part, but like, she could have been a fake account. Like, she only has 150 followers.
Can I get verified? No, she doesn't have 150 anymore.
Oh no, let's see what she has now.
She's got a bunch.
Oh, she's got 3,000 now. 3,000 in one day.
Wow.
I bet Tim Dodd right now is sitting there. I'm like, I have like 500,000. I can't get followed. I can't get verified.
And here's the funny thing. You know that's all the space community following her because she only follows 5 other people.
Yeah. Oh, join me! I just saw this. Join me tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, for discussion on the outcome of the high visibility close call review of December 2019 orbital flight test.
Mm-hmm.
Did not know that was tomorrow.
Yep. She only follows 5 people. One of them is good old Jimmy B.
Yeah, I saw that. It was like, yeah, the astronauts, ISS research, the ISS, Jim. Yeah. Not even the NASA ground systems. Not even Artemis. Not
you can tell
Stennis,
you could tell she was not a heavy Twitter user until today.
This is her. I think she created this today. Oh no, she created it in June.
Mm-hmm.
But no, this right here is her first tweet today.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Kathy, you're the best.
She is.
The next thing we have, which is not really news, but it's official now, is the Crew 1 patch. Which I'm interested because they don't have the names of the crew.
That is metal as all hell. I love it.
It's a great patch.
Dude, I need that patch.
Do you notice you have the all the different at the bottom right here?
One is obviously shuttle.
You have Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, shuttle, and then ISS, and then Dragon.
That's what they were. Okay.
Yeah. This one took me a while to figure out that this was Mercury. I knew Gemini was the 2 and Apollo is the A and the shuttle's the shuttle. I'm like, what's that first one? Like, oh, like process of elimination. It's
right.
It's Mercury, but like, and it took me a while. I'm like, oh wait, yeah, I've seen that emblem before used for Mercury.
Totally awesome.
A few times. So it is a pretty dope looking.
Oh yeah, patch. It absolutely
is. I honestly don't remember the last time it's been a mission patch that looks like this. That out there. This is an out there patch.
Oh yes.
Like I mean, the last patch I have that's like out there, like that I actually have. Let's see.
And for those of you who are listening later on, I am working on retweeting it right now. It comes from our buddy Matt, who is on Pressing for Flight. Great show.
Buddies?
Check those guys out. At Booster Buddies on Twitter. Yep.
I think the most out there patch I have is the inflated port one because like inflated port they made a patch for it, which is awesome, and it uses a worm, which no one picked up on apparently.
In-flight abort was the most out there mission.
Yeah, and I think everyone was so like over the hill about them watching a Falcon 9 blow up on purpose that they all forgot that wait a second, the patch has the worm. They had to get NASA's approval before using the worm on their mission. Why are they using the worm? Is that hinting that they're going to use the worm in the crew flight? Oh, yes. Now, do you want to hear my unpopular opinion?
Okay.
I think the worm should stop with the commercial crew.
Like, it should only be on commercial crew?
It should be low Earth orbit only to the ISS.
I think it was fine to bring it back for once for nostalgia's sake, but
I think
it's one of those things I associate with the shuttle era, so it should just be left as that. If I see it pop up
every so often, that's fine. But you know where I don't want to see it? I don't want to see it go to the moon.
No.
Okay, good. I'm not the only one with that opinion. Good. I just like the worm was a shuttle thing. The shuttle only went to lowest orbit. I don't think it should go past lowest orbit. It's a lowest
Hey, you
orbit
know
thing.
what? Maybe instead of
It should
bringing
be the
up the
meatball.
past, well, no,
Oh, you know
instead of
what?
make a new one.
For the first SLS rocket, they should do the Saturn V paint scheme. For the first one, like they did,
They're
they
not
put,
going to do it.
they put the worm on the SpaceX rocket. The first time, this is actually, I'm pretty sure, I think about this. That's the first time I believe the NASA logo's ever been on a rocket booster. Ever. It wasn't on any other one. Wasn't on Mercury. Wasn't on Gemini. Wasn't on Saturn. Wasn't on the. It was on the shuttle orbiter, but not on the rocket parts at all. Do you consider?
Not on a
It
throwaway
depends if you
parts.
consider the orbiter part of the rocket or not. I mean, it had the engines on it, so yes, but it was more or less the payload.
We're splitting hairs and getting into semantics, and got
Mm.
a beer and a half, and it's already too much for me to get into right now.
No, the DM1,
Look, look,
DM2
like
was the first booster that
like
had
I
the
said,
NASA insignia on it, and it wasn't even a NASA booster.
like I said, it's cool to have brought back the worm for DM2, but
I would like to
let's
see it on the first crewed Starliner flight as well.
uh,
I would like to see it on them
okay,
as
sure.
well. Like,
Okay, sure. The first crewed Starliner test.
and I'll be honest with you, if it isn't on the side of the first Sierra Nevada Dream Chaser, because it's a mini shuttle. Come on, it's a mini. It's a mini. It doesn't have to be in the rocket. It should just be just
Look,
one. It should be black like it was on the orbiter on the shuttle, just on the side for the first.
I am with Leland Melvin on this. The Team Meatball, and the worm is from the past. Let it stay there. It's from a different era. Make a new logo.
But I
Make
like
a
it.
new one.
I like it for what it does. It's a low Earth
No,
orbit thing to the
stop
ISS.
it. Stop being like Hollywood and dragging up the past and redoing it.
I don't
Do
think it
something
should
original.
be. I don't think it should be on Crew 1.
No,
It shouldn't be on Crew
You-
1. It shouldn't
you put
be
it on
It shouldn't be on.
Starliner demo with crew.
And that's it. And that's pretty much where it
And that's it.
ends. But when I
Yes.
think about it, when I think about Dream Chaser, it's a miniature shuttle, and it just feels right for the first, like for one mission when they go to the ISS. That it just feels right that they should put the black worm, not the red
Okay.
worm, the black worm.
I'll
Because
concede that. No, they can have the red worm. I'll concede that.
No, they should do black because the black was what was on the shuttle. It was painted on black, not red.
Pretty sure it changed.
Duncan agrees it would be awesome. I don't know what
Anyway.
that was. I don't know what that was to, but I'm gonna say it was to my statement to the Sierra Nevada.
Look, it just yes for Sierra Nevada, just their first
Just
crude test.
maybe. Well, no, I don't think they're doing crude on that. I don't think it can. I don't think they're doing crude.
Yeah, it's supposed to.
Cargo. No, they're
Cargo
thinking about
only?
doing crew. I think they're gonna build crew variants. I'll be for right now though. NASA only is using it for cargo.
Okay.
What's the name of that company that's trying to build the rotating space station around Earth?
Everybody. At this
The
point.
one that's been doing it forever, and everyone thinks it's kind of a joke, but they kind of have funding at the same time.
God, please not Blue Origin.
No, not Blue Origin.
Thank God.
They're a little bit crazier than Blue Origin. But I remember seeing they posted a few stuff not that long ago on that YouTube channel. But their idea is to have I think it's to use Dream Chaser as the escape pods.
Hey, cool. Oh yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
I did. I didn't watch it, but I did see it.
So I don't think they'll launch up there with them because I don't think they can launch it without the fairings, and adding fairings with the abort system for crew won't work well.
Okay.
Like
fair
it
enough.
might work, but it might also not work at the same. Like I think it's just like I know they have fairings for Soyuz, but it's designed to have fairings.
Mm-hmm.
Vulcan
And it
was
still
not
escapes just fine.
Vulcan was not designed to be able to detach its fairings quick enough for abort the payload.
It doesn't escape with its fairings.
Yeah,
That's what you're getting at.
yeah.
So, but anyway, that's that debate. Oh God, that's gonna be. damn it, why did they have to bring back the worm? Because now that's going to be a
Because
never-ending debate.
we asked for it. It's our fault.
Who asked for it? I didn't.
We all asked for it. And if
Damn
you
it.
didn't ask for it, you wanted it.
Thank you, Ed, the Gateway Foundation.
Gateway Foundation.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
I think they're all whack jobs, but they're funded whack jobs. So and I'll be honest, Elon was a whack job as well before, and he was also self-funded. So we'll see where he went.
Was?
Okay,
Did you not see the Tesla shorts? That's funny, by the way.
Dude,
We
can
digress.
you believe Tesla is at 1,300?
A share?
A share.
Mm-hmm. I can.
Okay, you want to talk about Tesla for a little bit? Because we're nerds. We have time. We can talk about. The only thing we have left is a meme, so we have time to talk about Tesla.
I will give us 5 minutes.
Okay, 10 minutes. Great. So, I saw my first Model Y.
Uh-huh.
Not a fan.
Well, I've heard they've been having a lot of build issues with them, like quality control
Yeah,
issues.
I've heard from, or I know Ben. I've only heard from Ben that he had build issues, but I think he said that the same issue was with the Model 3 as well.
I've
they
heard
had
different
issues
stuff.
with the Model 3, and these are early. They're early. They're the first put up mass production.
Yeah, they're the first
so
gen
I'm not
versions. That's why
surprised.
I usually like to avoid them, like of anything.
Yeah,
like
you
of
also can't afford it. That's mostly the main reason why.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Shut up. Neither can you.
Yeah. Well, I could if I didn't have student loans. Dude, I tell myself this every day when I look at how much I'm paying in student loans. I'm like, man, I can have a Model S right now, brand new. Ugh.
But anyway, getting back to what you were originally.
But I
talking
digress.
About, yes, yes. I dabble in day trading right now since I'm jobless and have the money to put in it. Thank you, 401k. By the way, that is not a wise thing.
That is
to
a
do.
terrible. I cannot believe you said that.
Oh yes, I'm a terrible person.
Do not listen to Daryl with his financial decisions, guys.
Oh no, but Tesla is on my watch list just for the hell of it, and I have been seeing them steadily go up over the last few months. They broke the $1,000 mark. Today they closed
at 1430.
What?
They're at 1430 right now.
14?
1432.
It must have gone up after hours.
Yeah, after hours. Yeah, I think they closed.
Jeez.
What did they close today?
1432.26.
Yeah.
So all
they
total
closed
today.
They closed at 1377 today.
They've gone up $220 today alone.
Yeah. To be transparent, I do own 0.01114 shares of Tesla. So
fractional shares.
Yeah, it's great.
I
get paid.
I had a fractional share. I'm like, no thanks.
I get paid $5. I get paid on Wednesday. That means $1 more worth of Tesla share goes into my account.
God. Well, look, Tesla's one of those ones I'm keeping my eye on because if they, they're building up really fast. They are
confused. Why did it go up?
It's one of those
things. They would have had a terrible second quarter.
Look, the way to play this stuff, if you're looking at Tesla, fear of missing out is obviously a real thing, especially when it comes to stocks.
I have so much fear. I have so much FOMO with Tesla because I thought about it last year when it was at $200 a share. I'm like, I can afford 3 shares. I take it out of my emergency fund, throw it in there. It'll go up. I can sell a few shares and regain my what I took out of my emergency fund and be all good. And then I'll have 2 shares worth of Tesla to keep. One for keepsakes, one to sell. No. I shouldn't do that. Smart decision. Keep my money in the emergency fund. It's going to make 0.015% interest. It's safe. It's consistent. And I'm like, now I'm sitting there. I'm like, I could have made so much money.
Look, I tell you, the ones who really made money are the ones who did options on Tesla. Not buying the stock, but buying options of it. Holy crap. If anybody caught that while they were down to $400 a couple of months ago when everything crashed, and now they're at $1,400 and you bought a bunch of call options, you'd be stinking rich.
I was talking with my buddy who has I don't know how many exactly shares he owns of Tesla, but when it first went public, his uncle bought him 6 shares, I think, for a couple bucks each, and then it split so many times since then that he has 60, I think, some shares of it. I think he said, or 50 some shares. Oh, we're talking about like right when everything started crashing. He's like, if you saw how much money I lost today, you would puke.
Yep.
Like I think he was probably talking about losing probably a couple $100,000 in a day. And I'm just like, oh, I just want to be you right now.
Well,
Like how you.
that's playing stocks. It don't get into fear of missing
The
out.
funniest part
That's
was
all.
he was like, he didn't even care about the stock because he didn't buy it. He got his uncle bought it for him, and he didn't even like it.
The other thing I don't like, and yes, you're saying, buy one to keep and buy one to sell later. The buying one to keep, just to say you have, it's like the people who bought one share of Disney when it went under 100 a couple months ago, just to say they have one. Like, look, your money's better spent buying something from the damn gift shop. Like
I would
something.
never buy like other than Tesla, just because I like Tesla.
I like them too.
Like that's the only company I would ever buy a share at that price and never sell it. That's the only company. Every other company. So like I did. I'll be like so. I also own stocks of shares of Virgin Galactic, but I bought it like $7.
Oh yeah,
I bought like I bought I bought a couple. A couple of them I'm gonna sell, but
that's the ground floor. Though.
I will keep one.
That's
one or two.
That's the ground floor though.
Yeah.
Tesla is no longer on the ground floor.
No.
Think about it. That's half of what Amazon's worth right now.
Amazon's pilot? Oh my god.
Amazon is at like $2,000 or something like that.
They're more than I think. Pretty sure isn't Google at like 1,000?
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Amazon's at 3,000.
Oh yeah, because coronavirus did them good.
Oh God, did it?
Oh my gosh. I just yeah. But no, I saw a Model Y pass me by, and you can definitely tell it's a Model Y because you're like, is that a Model X? No, it has the front of a. It's a Model X, the front of a Model Y, a Model 3. Like, so it doesn't have the grill, and it's just like you look and you're like, I mean, it looks like a Model 3, and a Model 3 looks cool, but like it's big. And that design does not go well big.
I'd still prefer an X. It's all about what I can afford. If I can afford an X, I'm getting an X. If I can afford a 3, I'm getting a 3. I'm not going with a
Cybertruck.
Y.
Cheapest. It's the Cybertruck is the best Tesla in their lineup.
Let me wait till that gets closer.
Hands down, the best. It has V3 supercharging. Has the longest. Has the furthest. I think mileage.
Like I said, let me wait till it gets closer because it's great on paper, but I'm sure things are gonna change.
It's the cheapest.
I'm right now. I don't consider the Cybertruck because it's not close to being on the road yet.
Oh, not even close enough.
No, that's why I'm not including it in the discussion. So all right, time for some memes.
Memes.
What you got? I saw you already had something pulled up. I saw the tweet from Master Race.
Dude, I love SpaceX Master Race.
I know it's great. I need to get on Reddit more often.
The best. You see it?
I'm about
there
to.
You go. So this is a conversation between all the starships. You have Elon starting it off with, guys, I can explain. Mark 1, I blew up after 6 months. SN 1, 3, and 4. 6 months, I blew up after 1. Mark 2, you guys are blowing up?
I love that meme template.
Poor Mark 2. Just out there not knowing what's going on in the world. And all he is he's the oldest sibling out there. Not understanding what his fate remains.
I love that template. Actually, funny coincidence. We didn't even plan this, but speaking of Starship,
does that actually Elon that they photoshopped in there?
Probably.
It looks like Elon. Does not look like anyone I know elsewhere.
So, mine for this week, again, by complete coincidence, it's both Starship memes, but I have a reason to go down to Boca Chica now. Because anybody who knows me knows I'm a sucker for Red Bull.
Dude, I live when there's a launch. We live off Red Bull.
Oh yeah,
I had 2 Red. I calmed my seasickness with Red Bull.
Look, wait, I'll do you one better. Back in the day, I don't do this anymore, but back in the day when I used to work in restaurants and I was like 19, 20 years old before I can even drink, when we had like busy ass Saturday nights, because I was at a high volume place. I was working in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, let me tell you, me and the rest of the line, right there on the line, I had us all shotgunning Red Bulls.
I can do you one better.
Here we go. What you got?
I used to work at a banquet hall, working weddings and bat mitzvahs and other occasions, and we had a bar, and you have the gun on the bar, right?
Ooh,
Our gun had Red Bull.
I know, that's terrible. Oh, Red Bull out of the gun is always the
Well,
worst.
it's not. It wasn't Red Bull. It was off-brand Red Bull. But
No, even like the regular brand Red Bull through the gun.
Listen. I was
so terrible.
I was like 14.
Oh well.
I was there. I could care less. I walk in and I just go up to the bar manager. I'm like, Red Bull me. Turn over. All right, thanks, bro. Go back to work. In front of everybody. We were a terrible group of people.
I'll bet. That's the service industry like. It's great.
I gotta say, we were a very cheap banquet hall. Very cheap.
So, before we get out of here, I mentioned Reddit a minute ago. I do want to say there was an incident that happened over the weekend. A fellow launch photographer, Adam Bernstein, somebody got a hold of his work, cropped out his watermark, printed it, and was starting to talk about it. We just want to put it out there. I'm sure Seth will agree with me on this, that folks, don't do that to photographers, regardless of what kind of photography they do. If it's launch photography, nature photography, anything like that, show these folks some love, especially nowadays. Don't steal their work. They got the issue worked out and everything like that, but there are some people who don't work things out like that. So if you see that stuff, say something, get them to work it out. Don't be that person. Spread the word, spread the love.
If any of you fuckers steal my sunrise photography photos, I will find you and I will kill you.
I was trying to be nice and
that's honest. And that's honest. Every time I see someone, I see John Cross. Happens to John Cross a bunch, and it happens to I think Trevor's happened a few times. And it's actually like, I don't even know what to say because it's so infuriating. With like, who the fuck?
Actually, it's happening.
I'm gonna say it. Who the?
It's happening more and more with a friend of ours, John Van Horn, with his Facebook page for the space
Facebook
launch.
Group is getting. I saw his post on Facebook about.
It's still happening.
He no longer now has like comments on his events, so they can't post those links.
Yep. It's still happening. So
and I'm getting a little nervous now because I'll be starting posting on Facebook more.
Ooh.
Little tidbit. I have not told you this.
Uh-oh.
But I'm gonna be looking at making some content for Space Coast Launch Ambassadors. Yay. If you guys don't know, I am the co-founder of Space Coast Launch Ambassadors, alongside Julia Bergeron and John Van Horn and his girlfriend Crystal. His outreach group. So we have a YouTube channel that we post some stuff to here and there. We do some live streams, but I'm looking at trying to do some heavy research, and a good video on the launch of Perseverance, not just on the payload, but also on the rocket. The history of Atlases and ULA launching to Mars, and why is it now taking so long to get here? Like where has this been all our lives, and what is his goal? Because Perseverance coming up here, a few weeks now.
End of July. End of July
is when that thing lifts off. That is our beginning of returning Martian soil back to Earth, because that is part of his mission, which I am so psyched about.
I already found you on Facebook.
Okay, I'm not gonna be posting stuff on that Facebook account.
Aww.
Yeah, I don't use that Facebook. Well, I do. I post my sunrise stuff on there for my parents. And then my parents, they screenshot my sunrises and they share it on their accounts. I'm like, you do know you can download it and you get the better resolution image instead of the crap.
I love the old football pictures of you.
Oh God, I was a stud.
I'm done looking at this.
With my buzz, I was a stud.
I'm done. That's going to do it for tonight's episode. On that note,
as Daryl stops stalking me on Facebook, and I am just googly eyesing over his Perseverance, We thank you all for somehow staying through these last 30 minutes to 17 minutes of the stream. We look forward to talking to you guys next week. Leave a like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter. Links are in the bottom in the description below. If you guys are listening to this, make sure you guys leave a review. It helps us out greatly. And subscribe. Share us a little bit maybe on Twitter. Share us to your friends. Share us to your coworkers. It would be great, and we greatly appreciate it. As always, we'll see you guys all next week.
Peace out, nerds.